see, I'm glad some of the people in the room decided to take it. That was pretty good. But we'll go ahead and get started here. All right, market just closed. All right, so this is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is the market wrap for February 14th, 2019. Qs are going to close up 0.12% and the SPY down 0.19. So more or less unchanged. We had a couple big announcements come out here. You can see where they took place, where kind of the volatility increased there, and the Qs and SPY took it in stride. So we've already addressed the long-term chart here on the daily, where the pivot is. As long as we hold 267.80 bullish on the long term here. And then 166.50 on the Qs. All right, and then the hourly. We'll see how we digest this price action here on the hourly. Okay, so I think if we break below 169.80, we expect retracement back to the support area, probably around 168.50. Okay, and then over yesterday's highs, higher. And then on the SPY, underneath 272.80, probably back to 271 or so, and then over the highs, continuation higher. More room on the daily higher than we have room on the hourly lower. Okay, so pretty neutral here going into tomorrow. We'll see what kind of price action we get if this is all going to be taken in stride and we just continue higher. So we got this here, which was that casting some doubt, I think, that the U.S. and China trade talks are a little bit further from the demands of each side, that they're not really that close to a resolution or an agreement. And then this right here was that that there would be a funding agreement for the U.S. government, but that there would be a declaration of emergency as well. So either way, you know, we'll see how the market wants to digest the news tomorrow. I think that's going to be critical, okay, because what we got today, as you can see, SPY closing a little bit weaker, and then the Qs up a little bit. Both are narrow range days, despite the fact that we got these big news announcements. So really, it's going to, I think, going to depend on tomorrow. If tomorrow's another day of sideways inside bar, we'll have to wait till Tuesday because Monday is a holiday. Okay, so despite all that, there were some pretty good trades in either direction. The first play that I called for the room, I like this SIX breakdown. I was looking to see if we were going to get continuation from the first initial move lower here. As it's setting up this breakdown here, I really like this big topping tail that we got and wanted to see it break underneath the lows there. Okay, but we ended up going higher. And so canceled the play because it took out the stop. And then this was a play from Sammy. He called this breakdown here. So that was a pretty nice play there on the SIX into the afternoon. On this breakdown was a breakout that failed, set up this base, and then broke down from there. So while we didn't get a chance to play in the morning, really nice call from Sammy on this short in the afternoon. So that was one of the afternoon plays. After the SIX didn't trigger, I moved on to the BLMN. The BLMN was a buy setup. Here was the gap. This in the IVC were my top gap ups today. Market was gapping down. Initially was up and then it was down. So you can see kind of the fluctuations actually started in the pre-market today. I guess there was some anticipation of news coming. I like this IVC and the BLMN. I thought were both very powerful gap ups today. So ended up the IVC went right at the open. This one did go as well, but gave us a nice pullback and gave us a secondary entry. So, you know, the first buy setup was here. I waited till we got this topping tail and then over the topping tail. Okay. Triggered on this green bar here. Initially tried to set up a base. Was starting to struggle a little bit, but then we were able to get some out here. Target one was 2140. I'll try and do a better job of taking a picture of the announcements so that you can see what they look like. That way, if you're considering joining the room, or just seeing better understanding the methodology, you can get the exact numbers here. I'll give it to you what it was. It was over 2095 with a stop at 2070. Okay, so that was the call on the BLMN. Okay, and then once we got to 40, I said trail. It was able to make one more new high, but then it started to come in, and this became kind of the tough part of the trade because, as you know, I'm going to manage after target one on the hourly, and so this almost took us out, actually. Came as close as you can pretty much to taking us out. Came all the way to 2071. And before finally starting to get picked back up. We did eventually trail some here under the hourly, and then it was able to go higher. I guess it closed around 2105, so not too bad, but it did go higher. Overall, it's just fine. It's going to happen. I thought it was looking pretty good in the morning. I was looking for more retracement on the daily chart here. Even up to 22 was the second target I was looking for. The first target coming from this red bar here. So if I look to the left, I look at the top of this bar, 2144, and the high that we made was 2143. So that's where the 2140 came from. I saw this 2144. Just round it down a little bit. Okay, and that was our first target. We were able to get that, just didn't get to target 2. Maybe it's just not going to happen, or maybe it'll happen tomorrow, but we can wait and see on that. I was really happy. One of the coaching members, one of my coaching clients, we actually just went over gap bullies and gap berries 2 days ago, and he gave the room this little breakout here. And had a target here around 14, I think 25 or 1430 or so. So that I was quite proud of. I was really happy to see we just went over this strategy in depth when something gaps down and gets bought, okay, and clears resistance, and then look for an entry there. A lot of really nice breakouts this week on gap bullies. So if you play breakouts, a lot of these are the ones that I'm seeing get a lot of follow through. We saw the CVE yesterday. You can see the similarities in the pattern. Gap down, base at the highs, breakout, right? Giving pretty good follow through. You might have seen the UAA earlier in the week. Same thing, UAA, okay, right here, okay, gap down, got bought, set up a high of the day base, and then broke out on the UAA. Okay, so pretty nice play there on the UAA, the CWEN. That's the gap bully strategy. Same thing on the CWN. This one's actually a little bit special because it's gapping down to all-time lows and then running back up. The reverse of that would be the gap berry, something that gaps up, clears the highs, and then takes out support. Okay, and this one set up a sell setup here. Okay, you can see it based and then gave you a secondary entry and then broke down from there. So this is something that gaps up and then sells off through support. Okay, that's your gap berry strategy on the GOOS. Pretty impressive there on the GOOS. Okay, so and then let's go over this KO. I decided to let this one go. A little bit disappointed now. At the time, I thought, okay, well, it's been the kind of day. They've locked in an okay day here, but nice little breakdown on the KO. This was a call. I canceled it, of course. I do regret that now, but yeah, this was a nice breakdown on the KO here. The plan on this was to just look for basically 2 hours all or nothing, and that plan was about as good of an expectation as you could have got. So yeah, but just a nice setup there. 15-minute, lost the extension, curling over price, and then broke down from there. So pretty good follow through. So really, I thought the afternoon was pretty good. If you didn't make too much out of the morning, you definitely had some opportunities in the afternoon to get it going here. So hopefully you did well today. If you did well in the morning, or at the very least we're able to make something out of the afternoon. We still got one more day in the week, and then we got a 3-day weekend. So we'll see what the market gives us tomorrow, and I will talk to you then. All right, have a great evening.